Welcome back to Get Down to Business. A really fascinating individual joins me now, and that is Lynn Thomas, who I've certainly been fascinated, and we've been talking throughout the show as more employees return to offices around the world. Lynn, our next guest, has said that the difference between companies that survive and those that collapse will be the leaders that demonstrate extreme humanism. So joining us to discuss is that very individual, Lynn Thomas. Welcome to the program.
Thanks very much, Shalom. I'm delighted to be here.
I'm delighted to have you. So let's talk about you. Let's talk about your background that's led to your founding of Thomas Consulting, which I know has partnered with nearly 500 companies since starting your consulting firm more than 30 years ago. Let's talk about you, Lynn. Tell us a little bit about your passion and expertise.
Sure. My journey to where I am now started when I was a tax attorney with Arthur Andersen. And then I left there, went to Bank of Boston as a private banker, and then as a change agent. And it was my experience as a change agent there when it became very clear they didn't care about the clients nor employees that I wanted to leave and set up a consulting firm where employees were important, where clients were important, and shareholders were important. So the idea of everybody could win. And so I call myself, a tax attorney turned consultant who finds innovative and novel ways to create fiercely loyal clients and employees.
You certainly have. And Lynn, I have to ask, as we have this conversation in 2021, mid-2021, you've been doing this for a while. Have you ever seen anything quite like what you're seeing right now with COVID? And how has that changed the game in terms of what you've been doing for 30 plus years?
I've never seen anything like it. I don't think there hasn't been anything like it that's impacted the world the way it has. It changed that I'm more focused on employees now, employee retention. There's a correlation between employee and client retention or customer retention, but very much now it's basically how do you win talent? How do you keep talent? And you can see by the number of job openings and the number of people unemployed, there's not a good match. And I want to say that the companies that will win now post-COVID, if there's a post-COVID, will have employees, whoever learns the fastest in a disrupted environment. So you need people who learn quickly. If not, you need to train them how to do that. They need to be agile. They need to be resilient. They need to be quick or fast. And they need to be problem solvers. And they focus on multiple options. You don't want someone coming in and finding one solution to a problem. You want them to come up with 20 solutions. So those are the people you want to hire, to train, and to keep. Because we're in what we call a VUCA, which is volatile, uncertain, confusing, and ambiguous times. And we don't have the clear information, Shalom, that we used to, or business owners to make decisions. So it's an employee talent war out there. And especially for millennials and Gen Zs, they need to find a purpose or some meaning in their work, or they will go elsewhere.
There is no question about that. Again, I'm chatting with Lynn Thomas from Thomas Consulting, and we'll share more of how to reach you in a couple of minutes. But you bring to this conversation and to every one of your engagements a high level of resiliency, optimism, and drive that certainly you share with all of your clients. Where does that come from for you, Lynn? How have you developed this incredible sort of zest for helping companies with, as you said, that employee retention and building that culture, which I know you're so passionate about?
Well, I hear two questions in there. So where I get sort of my zest and vibrancy is very much from my father. He used to come home from work and he'd be sort of more or less singing and dancing. And so I grew up thinking work is fun, work is fun. And as I went through my various careers, when they stopped being challenging and fun, I moved on. What I do now, what I love about it is I help people find their on-tap potential. That's really the difference that I can make. Pixar has an assumption that there's a slice of genius in each employee, and I believe there's probably more than a slice of genius. And most of us use only 2% of our brain on a given day, or 5% when we're really pumping our ions on Shalom. So there are vast untapped resources inside. So I really challenge people How could they be more agile? How could they be more problem solving? How could they get down, using the title of this, get down to business quicker? How are they maybe overlooking some other perspectives? So it's a time, I think what COVID does, it has forever changed the relationship between workplace, employers, and employees. And home and work are never going to be fully separated the way they were before.
That is for sure. And again, as you say, all over on your website and certainly as in all of your public speaking engagements, it's a new mindset that's needed to attract and retain top employees and clients in a post-COVID era. And Lynn, we're going to squeeze in a quick break, but I know you wrote a book back in 2015 called Wow, Your Weight's Profit, which certainly I want to encourage everybody. I know it's available on Amazon, and you share a lot of your expertise, again, in helping companies, helping people, because ultimately behind every company, it is all about leaders and organizations that in order for them to excel, it does require that top tier talent. So again, Lynn Thomas from Thomas Consulting is joining us here on Get Down to Business. We are going to continue our conversation after a very quick break as we talk about some of those expectations post-COVID, and again, the some of those areas that Lynn feels that has changed in this post-COVID world. Again, a quick break. I encourage all of our listeners, get on our website, shalomklein.com. That's where you can download the past 8+ years of shows all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. And be sure to click subscribe, rate your review, and share Get Down to Business on your favorite podcast app. We'll be right back. Hey, welcome back. I am thrilled to be rejoined here and Get Down to Business with Lynn Thomas from Thomas Consulting. We've been chatting about attracting and retaining top employees and clients in a post-COVID era, and that's what Lynn and her firm Thomas Consulting has been doing, partnering with nearly 500 companies since starting consulting for more than 30 years ago. So we have this conversation on a Sunday evening, and Lynn, I want to see what is the one thing that small businesses, big businesses can do in the week ahead?
I would say the biggest thing you can do is embrace being uncomfortable. Racing to be comfortable in this environment, I think, is premature. And I also encourage everybody to do at least 2 things that are uncomfortable for them every day. We widen our horizons of possibilities and options. So if there's difficult conversations with employees or employers or vendors or clients you need to have those conversations, and deeply listen to your employees. If they don't want to come back, is there an option for them? Is there a way that they can remain working from home? Think outside the box, to a phrase. But I also think, look at this situation, this hardship or the challenge. What are the opportunities in there? I think challenges very much give us an opportunity to shine like a diamond. That friction will allow us to shine. So what is it that you, as a leader, what do you need? What are the skills you need to lead through this crisis that doesn't seem to be letting up? And I think looking at the mindset that you have as leaders, your employees have, and what's your culture's mindset? Not many people talk about that, but I'll go into companies and the culture's mindset is, you don't tell the boss bad news. You want to hear everything. And I think that deeply listening is not speaking much, asking questions, probing underneath, and responding always in a kind way. You may have to be firm or clear or say something that's not, person doesn't want to hear, but I am a passionate believer that it is imperative to always be kind and respectful to people. And I had a critical father and an older sister, so I'll say, if you can't find a way to be kind, call me. I'll be happy to help you. And I leave that with everybody, because you always can say something in a kind way.
Absolutely. Embrace that discomfort but yet again, embrace that change as well. And that's what I keep hearing, because change is no doubt inevitable. And I know that you have helped many companies, as we've said. What is that one example that you can share with our listeners in our remaining minute on the show of just that story that you're most proud of, and the change that you've created?
It'd be with this one company that in 3 months, they were able to increase sales by 35%. And it was pretty effortless. And that really just wound up on my speaking with some of their top clients and finding out what they really wanted. And they had not really done in-depth interviews. So your clients' needs have changed. Have somebody, preferably outside your organization, have in-depth conversations with your clients to make sure that you know what their current needs are and how they possibly have changed during COVID.
Well, congratulations on that success. Again, Lynn Thomas from Thomas Consulting. Lynn, how can people get a hold of you if they want to learn more about your services, learn more about your book, learn more about your story? Lynn, how can people get a hold of you?
Sure. I'm on LinkedIn, and it's Lynn, Lynn, and Thomas is as it sounds. Website is Thomas Consulting, and then wins at the end.com. And I'll give a phone number if people like that, 781-899-4210. I'm in the Boston area, and I'm happy to talk to anybody, 10, 15 minutes, just ask me a question. And if I can help, I'd be delighted. And people have helped me along the way, and that's why I love to return and be of service to others.
Well, I appreciate you coming on and sharing your expertise with our listeners. That will be a wrap for us here on Get Down to Business. We are all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. Check out our sponsors, Chicago Signature Limo and Health Plan Chicago. Again, we'll be back next Sunday with more conversations all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. So to success, let's get down to business.